Well, I'll tell you what, if that doesn't get you fired up for some hockey coming up next August 1st or baseball coming up Friday night, man, I don't know what will. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Captain Lou Extravaganza Live here on 12 Ounce Sports. Yours truly, Captain Lou, in the chair until 9 o'clock Eastern Time. Hey, if you had a chance, congratulations, Mitch Bernstein, the Burn with Mitch before us tonight with getting on Michelle. Lapoya from Monday Night Football or Sunday Night Football. My God, I just had a brain cramp. Sorry about that, Mitch. What a great interview that Mitch had tonight. He's got a great series of interviews. He's doing a whale of a job before us, and I keep getting the stutter step here. I'm not going to be able to keep up with his steam, but we're going to try here tonight. So we're going to be on until 9 o'clock, as I mentioned. Coming up at 9 o'clock tonight, we will have the latest installment of Indoor Lacrosse from Fort Saskatchewan. Cody Jansen will be on the call for that. Those teams are playing for the 12-ounce Sports Cup, and we invite you to take a watch on that right after our show here tonight. Hey, we got a great show planned for tonight, a potpourri, if you will. No guests lined up tonight, so we're just going to ramble here for an hour, talk about what's going on in the world of sports here. We've got talk about it ramping up. We are just about set to go. Baseball is going to be starting Thursday night with a doubleheader, kicking off with a dynamite pitching matchup of the ages. Garrett Cole against Maxwell von Scherzer for the Washington Nationals. And speaking of which, Thursday night, yours truly, we're going to be hosting a MLB preview show here on 12 Ounce Sports. Mark it down on your calendar. Check us out. We're going to be stocked full of guests. Our panel of experts here at 12 Ounce are going to give you our picks, what we think is going to happen, and a little bit of everything from fantasy picks to who's going to win each of the divisions. And it should be a lot of fun. Michael Carvallis is going to be our co-host, and we've got guests lined up, as I mentioned. James Paxson, he'll be on at 5:45. We're going to have Mitch Bernstein at 6 o'clock, and at 6:15, Philly Pete is going to join us. James is going to go over the American and National League Central. Mitch is going to go over the Phillies NL East and the American League East. And then Philly Pete, he is our fantasy sports guru, all sports, everything from football, basketball, baseball, and, of course, hockey. And Philly Pete's going to join us at 6:15 on Thursday night. 6:30, we're going to have Pop DiBiase. Yeah, he's going to talk American League and National League West. And Aaron from the Vegas Squares podcast, Sportscast here at 6:45 on Thursday night is going to give us his lowdown on the odds makers, who is going to have the best odds to win. We'll give you a sneak peek of that. We'll get his taste on that, though, coming up on Thursday night. So it's going to be a great show Thursday night. The 12-Ounce Sports Major League Baseball, or MLB preview show, 5:30 until 7 o'clock with yours truly. Michael Carvallis will be my right-hand man, if you will, the producer extraordinaire. So we're really looking forward to having fun with that on Thursday night. So indeed, baseball is starting up on Tuesday or Thursday night with a doubleheader, and then it gets kicked in big time on Friday night with a bunch of guests lined up, or I'm sorry, a bunch of games lined up as it gets kicked off. And boy, I'll tell you, the way that they were fighting amongst each other about a month ago, you had to wonder if they were even going to get a season going on. But they buried the hatchet. They're going to play. Begrudgingly, I think some of the players are going to play. My question is, are they going to be able to finish with the COVID virus? They're doing their best, and the travel is going to be limited, of course, with the play with the divisions like American and National League Central, for example. That's all they're going to play in the regular season. You're not going to see these cross-country trips, and it's going to be rather short, and it's going to be the marathon is a thing of the past this year for baseball. It's going to be a sprint, and my question is, are the big teams, the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Astros, are they going to be prohibitive favorites? They are, but are they going to be able to hold up? Are they going to be able to hold off a team that gets hot. We've talked about it, for the last month or so since we found out baseball is going to come back. And is a team like Cincinnati, the White Sox, I don't know, the Oakland A's, are they going to be spoiling the parade of the Yankees or Houston or, Washington for that matter? It's funny because I look at some of these divisions in baseball, and I'll tell you, that National League East division is nothing to sneeze at. You've got 4 teams in that division, I think, have a legitimate shot to win that division. You've got the Atlanta Braves, who a lot of people are pegging as potential World Series participants, them and the Dodgers in the National League. You've got the Mets, who I'm not sold on the Mets myself, but a lot of people are thinking they've got just as good a shot as maybe the Phillies or the Nationals. I don't see it. I like the Phillies myself. That's going to be my dark horse team. Again, we'll talk to Mitch Bernstein about that Thursday night. And I know Philly Pete will like me saying that because him being a South Philly guy. But I like it. A coach can make a difference in the beginning, and I think Joe Girardi will do that. I like their starting pitching, and I think Bryce Harper is going to explode this year. I really think he's going to have a whale of a season in this shortened season, 60 games. So that's just kind of a thumbnail sketch of that. And then, of course, in the American League, you got the Yankees they're the prohibitive favorite. I mean, they're stacked. This is one of their best teams they've had in a long time. I don't know if it'll rival the teams from 96 to 99 when they had that run, but they're darn close. My only thing with the Yankees is going to be their starting pitching. Yeah, they got Garrett Cole, but the rest I'm not sold on. I don't know if they're going to be healthy enough even for 60 games. Is Chapman going to hold up? They're brittle. I mean, they have been. Giancarlo Stanton, can he even play 60 games? What about Aaron Judge? I know he's healthy, supposedly, but boy, if they stay healthy and they play to their capabilities, the Yankees are going to be very tough to beat. I mean, they're the odds-on favorite in the American League, but you got teams, like I said, Houston still, you can't count Cleveland out. Minnesota, now they're one of those teams that when you pick them to do good, they kind of, I don't know, are they going to get a sophomore slump this year? They kind of remind me of the Tigers back in when they first came on in the mid-2000s, 2006, when they went to the World Series. They were contenders for about a decade, couldn't win the World Series, but they were always real close. Then you've got, like I mentioned, the Oakland A's. Are they going to have an opportunity? So we'll talk more about baseball in the last half hour of our show as we'll kind of gear that towards our special on Thursday night here on the 12-Ounce Sports Network, as we're going to have our MLB preview show, as I mentioned, from 5:30 until 7. NFL, we'll talk a little bit about the NFL here while we've got a few minutes. Training camp supposedly is going to start next week. Pardon me if that noise you hear is my big old dog Miggy coming in, making sure everything's all right. This time of year, the studios in the basement here in palatial Grand Ledge, Michigan, that's the best place to be in the heat. So he's kind of checking things out, and he's going to camp out and guard against invaders. But the NFL is supposed to start on the 28th, which is a week from tonight. That's when training camp's supposed to start. Are they going to prolong it? Now, word came out officially a little while ago that there will be no preseason games. Now, how much is that going to affect these teams? Now, the thing is, everybody's in the same boat. You don't have teams that are going to play a preseason game and some that aren't. Now, they still have a few other things to hammer out, the protocols for COVID. One of the things that it kind of hit a sore spot with me was there was talk that if a player does test positive and they have to leave, he's not going to get paid if he has to, if he misses 2 or 3 games. Now, that's kind of how it is for us at my employment, and I tell you, that rubs me the wrong way. That's a definite sore spot with me. And it's not these players' fault they got it or they get it. So that's got to be ironed out. There's got to be some type of stipend or something worked out. I know they're trying, and I've got faith in the NFL that they will do it. But they're going to play. They're going to try. And it's going to take an awful lot for the NFL not to play. They've kind of been the full steam ahead league because their season was over. They were able to do the draft. They were able to do the free agent period, the schedule release, all of that kind of makes the NFL special. It kind of gives them their year-round capabilities. And, it really now the spotlight's going to be on them. What are they going to do? And I would hope that they learn from baseball's mistakes and they can get something ironed out. It's great how I go back to the NHL. Everybody banged on them over the years about how mismanaged they are by Gary Bettman. And, I have to admit in some instances he has. But they've been at the forefront. They extended their CBA. They've made things very amicable on both sides. They're set up to go August 1st. And we'll get into that in our second portion of our show after our break here in a couple of minutes. Man, if you're a hockey fan, you've been waiting for this for 5 months. But, boy, I'll tell you, this is going to be like March Madness for the NHL coming up August 1st, the first weekend, and then that first week with the qualifying round games. And, of course, it's going to lead right into the opening round of the playoffs because it's going to be nonstop hockey. And we'll go over the schedule a little bit, and we'll also talk Hart candidate. But getting back to the NFL, it's going to be very interesting to see. Now, I see they're going to have an expanded roster set up, which is good for the preseason anyway. But you start to think about the question, are there going to be fans? The Jets and the Giants, they're not going to have fans in the stands. I know there's some states and some stadiums that are still, they're hell-bent on getting fans in the stands, social distance, whatever. And I want to keep an eye on that because with that, how are you going to determine who gets the seats? And I know, boy, I can't even imagine what the price of some of those tickets are going to be if they let, like, for example, in Dallas, if they let 15,000 people in, or Houston, or Detroit, or Green Bay, or whatever. Man, that's going to be, is it going to be a lottery? Then once you get your ticket, how much higher are they going to stiff the fans on ticket prices? The one thing the NFL's got going for them is their television revenue, and that's big. That's their fallback. But we all know that they need more than that. If they want to, they're not gonna fold or nothing like that, nothing crazy like that. But that TV revenue is a nice fallback to have that some of these other sports don't have, like in college, which we'll get into tonight as well. As you notice, more and more conferences, the smaller ones, are postponing their seasons to maybe the winter or the spring, or they're just canceling them altogether. High school's doing the same thing. California, Virginia, and we'll get into that too. But training camp starts next week for the NFL. Now, the rookies for Houston and another team escapes me. They were supposed to start today, as a matter of fact, but that's been postponed as well. So it's going to be an interesting watch to see what happens with training camp. Are they going to get underway? That's the big question. And then I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to getting back to when we can talk about who the starting quarterbacks are going to be, who are the hotshot rookies. And right now that's on the back burner because we have to talk about, are they going to play? Are they going to start training camp? Is it going to be a prolonged one just to see if they can handle it with the COVID? What's the testing going to be like? Is it going to be daily the first week and then every other day, or that's kind of the rumor that's been going around too. I don't know. That's going to be a very, very interesting thing to find out what's going to happen. So, anyways, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll have more. We'll get into hockey. We will talk a little bit about the high school situation with sports throughout the country. As it's crunch time. These states have to make a decision, and some of them have. And like I said, we'll talk hockey. We'll see what's going on in baseball again, basketball, you name it. So we got a lot to talk about. We're on till 9 o'clock or a little before 9 Eastern time. Then we make way for Cody Jansen and indoor lacrosse Canadian style up in Fort Saskatchewan as they fight for the 12-ounce Sports Cup. You are watching the Captain Lou Extravaganza live here on 12-ounce Sports. Don't go anywhere.
For the marching exercise, you want to sit down in the center front of your chair, bring your feet shoulder width apart, and form a 90-degree angle with your knees. From here, you're going to lift one foot and raise the opposite arm, just as you march in place in your chair. Make sure you keep that core nice and tight and you breathe into it, and also maintain good posture with a straight back.
Hey, everybody, welcome back here to 12-Ounce Sports. Hey, a reminder that if you're looking to freshen up your look this summer, man, you got to check out our 12-Ounce Sports new line of clothing. We've got everything from shirts, sweaters, beach towels, phone cases. We've got the latest masks. We've got a line of those. Check out our store. What you need to do, our online store is at 12ouncesportsradio.com and hit the Our Store tab. There you'll find a wide variety of clothing items, as I mentioned, some great polos, colors, sizes that suit your style. That's 12ouncesportsradio.com. Hit the Our Store tab. We also have got our masks that you can get while you're outside. And, speaking of the mask, I'm telling you, the only way we're going to knock down this COVID is for everybody outside to wear your mask if you can at all possible. I know there's some folks out there that can't wear them because of medical conditions. I get that. But for those of you that can, it besides the social distancing and whatnot, this is what we need to do. We got to wear the masks. So get yours. They're stylish, man. The 12-ounce sports mask. And you'll be styling and profiling, as the nature boy Ric Flair would say. Woo! That's check it out at our Store tab here on the 12-Ounce Sports Network. Here, there's, again, some great items. I've gotten some stuff. I've got that zip-up jacket that you've seen me wear from time to time. We've got some great clothing, some really cool swag, pens, you name it. And so coffee mugs, check it out. That's our store tab here at 12-Ounce Sports on the website, 12ouncesportsradio.com. And you know what? Something else, we talked about it already tonight. Futures bets, World Series. Who do you think's going to win the first game Thursday night? 7:07 is first pitch. Again, the pitching matchup, Garrett Cole and Max Scherzer. You want to bet on that game? Head on over to mybookie.ag. I'm telling you that right now. They've got tons of action for you to get in on the fun. I'm telling you right now, check it out, mybookie.ag. Whether it's esports, if this overseas baseball is your thing, hockey's coming up August 1st. You can bet who's going to win the Stanley Cup. Just take my word for it. It's not going to be to the Detroit Red Wings. They've got you covered at mybookie.ag. And you're going to make your first deposit. Use the promo code 12ounce sports when you make that deposit. They will match it up to $1,000. And if you don't feel like betting on sports, you want to just play some slots online over there, or if they want to play some blackjack, 3-card poker, whatever, check them out. Their online casino is pretty cool too. That's mybookie.ag. And again, use the promo code 12ounce sports on your first deposit, and they will match that bonus up to $1,000. That's not a bad deal whatsoever. That is mybookie.ag. Just a reminder too that we are on Zingo channel 761. It's you can sign up for free for that and get all of our live events, our replays of our shows. My show here tonight will be rebroadcast Thursday at 4:30. Take a note on that time because it's going to make way for our preview show for Major League Baseball at 5:30 Eastern Time on Thursday night. So we're on channel 761 Zingo TV. There's a lot of cool shows on that, and it got even better. Zingo TV did when they brought on 12-ounce sports, and that's us. We are a part of the action over there. I invite you to check it out. We are on live right now. Check us out over there. Sign up for it on Zingo TV channel 761. We're on that platform, of course, along with Facebook Live and Twitter and whatnot. So YouTube, our YouTube channel is rocking as it always is. So check that out as well. Zingo channel 761. Again, coming up at the top of the hour, it's going to be Cody Jansen. He will be bringing you another edition of Indoor Lacrosse from Fort Saskatchewan. They're playing for the 12-ounce Sports Cup, which is going to be decided next Tuesday night. They go from 9 until midnight Eastern Time, which is 7 to 10 local time up there. I know Cody's getting ready right now, heading over to the rink. And while he's doing that, he's praying that his Chicago Cubs can do something in the playoffs, or in the 2020 season, the shortened 60-game season. Speaking of Cody and the playoffs, he's also praying to God that his Edmonton Oilers can do something in the playoffs as well. Speaking of the NHL, we talked about that at the top. We're going to go over the Hart Trophy nominations here in a moment. That is for the MVP. They start August 1st. And if you are a hockey sports fan like yours truly, which, I can't wait for it. They start up Saturday, August 1st. And on the weekend, they're only going to have 5 games. Noon, 3, 4, 8, and 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Starts off with the 6-11 matchup out east with Carolina and the Rangers. And then Chicago and Edmonton are going to start off in Edmonton. And they go all the way through till 10:30 at night. And on Monday and Tuesday, they're going to have 6 games. They start at noon Eastern Time. I'm telling you, it's just, they're going to be staggered start times. It's just like March Madness. On Monday, August 3rd, all the games are going to be, and on the 4th, they're all going to be on NBCSN, except for the late night game is going to be on the USA Network. You've got NBCSN, NBC, USA Network. They're going to be showing games all week. And if you love hockey and you've been waiting for it, like we have, I'm telling you, it's it. They're going to start out next week as well. They're going to have 4 exhibition games that they're going to broadcast. One of our NHL insiders, Tyler Marcotte, his Pittsburgh Penguins are taking on Philly Pete's Philadelphia Flyers at 4 o'clock on Tuesday, July 28th. That's exhibition style. Then we got 3 games that NBCSN is going to carry on Wednesday. Carolina and Washington, Chicago and St. Louis, New York Rangers, and the New York Islanders. We had a great discussion last week. I did our NHL preview with Tyler and also Marcus Grosnick on who we thought back and forth who's going to win the Stanley Cup. And I tell you, Tyler's got Washington and Colorado in it. I've got Boston and Colorado in it. Boston, Washington, I think is what's going to end up being the last, the Stanley Cup Eastern Conference Final, in my opinion. It's going to be a knockdown, drag-out series. But there, again, we talked about it last week. We'll bring it up again. These opening round matchups in the NHL, especially out east, I got to tell you, Carolina and the Rangers have had Carolina's number. What was it we talked about last week? I think the Rangers are like 31-6 against Carolina since 2011. You know they're not happy with the way this setup is because they've got to play a team that has been their Achilles heel, their kryptonite over the last 9 years, and they get an 11 seed in the opening round. You know, again, we talked about it, Columbus and Toronto. Toronto can't get over that first round hump with a loaded team, one of the most underachieving teams really in professional sports. If you think about it, as loaded as they are, the talent level that they are, and they can't get past the first round. They can't. If they don't make it this year, they can't blame Babcock because he's out. But when you got a John Tortorella coach team, we've talked about this ad nauseum. He knows how to get them fired up in the playoffs. So we'll see. It's going to be a question mark at goaltending for Columbus, just as it is for a lot of teams. Is Pekka Rinne, how is he going to go? Is he going to be able to go? Who's going to be the goaltender in Chicago? New York? It's Pittsburgh. I mean, you've got some goaltending questions there all over. Nashville, like I mentioned. Dallas. It's a crazy, crazy off season for that. And so it's going to be very interesting to see once we get the goaltending situation figured out. And the question again was brought up last week. One of our guys here on the network, and we talked to Tyler about this. Do you play more than one goalie in the opening round? Can you afford to? I mean, let's just say Montreal and Pittsburgh. You got Carey Price, who, he's got the accolades. He's been nominated for the Vezina. I mean, is he enough to carry Pittsburgh or carry Montreal against Pittsburgh? No. But if he gets hot, you never know. I mean, you look at Calgary, against Winnipeg. Winnipeg, to me, right now has the best goaltender in the playoffs, Connor Hellebuck. And, what about Calgary? They've got two that they've got to decide amongst. It really is crazy. So a lot of question marks going into August 1st. That's when everything kicks off. The round robin games, Boston and Philadelphia, St. Louis and Colorado, they open up on Sunday. Then you've got Washington and Tampa Bay, Dallas and Vegas. Wow. Man, those are some great games. And it's the round robin teams, they know they're in. They play to see where they want to play in the opening round of the playoffs. If they've got goaltending answers or questions, do they let multiple goalies play? That's a question. Would Vegas do that? I just can't believe that Marc-Andre Fleury would not be the man in Vegas. So that might answer that question right there. So, anyways, but again, they all start Saturday, August 1st. Everybody seems to be getting into rhythm now with their training camps in the NHL. I think they've had 3 or 4 positive tests. That's it, out of 400 or whatever it was. So, or 800. So, that's a good sign. The bubble might just work. And again, going to Edmonton and Toronto, that's not a bad idea to do that too, because it's not quite as bad up there as it is down here in the United States. Speaking of Toronto, in baseball, we'll get back to baseball here after our next break, but Toronto's not going to be able to host Major League Baseball. Now, Toronto can do it. That's where I want to thank my Twitter followers and, my Facebook page followers when I asked that. Enlighten me on why they can do it. And then it was a great point because you don't have teams coming in. They're going to be in the bubble. So that makes perfect sense. Where are the Blue Jays going to play? Are they going to play in Pittsburgh where they want to play? They say they want to play in a major league city. Why? I don't know. Why can't they play in Buffalo? I can see why they wouldn't want to go to Dunedin because of the virus. But anyways, getting back to hockey, we wanted to touch on real quick the Hart Trophy finalists have been announced, and Leon Draisaitl, Nathan MacKinnon, and Artemi Panarin, the bread man, were named finalists for the Hart Trophy on Tuesday. Draisaitl had 110 points in 71 games. He's hard to argue that. He's got 10 game-winning goals, 66 even-strength goals, second only to Panarin, or points rather. I beg your pardon. 66 even-strength points, which is second to Panarin. He's got 16 power play goals, which is second to Pastrnak. So Edmonton 24-5-2 when Draisaitl scored, and 13-20-7 when he didn't. That's why I think with him and Connor McDavid, I think they've definitely have the edge over the Blackhawks. But can you imagine if they lose to the Blackhawks and they get that first pick and they get Lafreniere? Wow. Nathan MacKinnon, fifth in the league with 93 points, 62 even strength points. He's had 29 multi-point games. Kind of hard to argue his statistics as well. He was runner-up to Taylor Hall 3 years ago, I should say. No, let's go for 2 years ago. He would be if he gets it, he would be the third player in their franchise to get it. Forsberg got it, and Joe Sakic. Panarin for the Rangers, 95 points, 32 goals, 63 assists in 69 games. First in the league in even strength points, as I mentioned, with 71. Plus minus a 36. 1 point in 54 games, 28 multi-point games. The Rangers, he's helped them get back to respectability. 37, 28, and 5, which would get them much higher in the West. 79 points, which is the 11th seed in the Eastern Conference. And that's what I'm saying. As an 11th seed, the Rangers are they're going to be a tough out. And Panarin's looking to be the first Ranger to win it in almost 30 years. Since 92 when Mark Messier won it. Last year, Nikita Kucherov was the winner of the Hart Trophy. He's not in the three finalists. So we're going to find out. We talked about goalies. It looks like Corey Crawford's going to join the team since he's been on leave for the Chicago Blackhawks. How's that going to help them? He was 16, 20, and 3 during the regular season. The Blackhawks are the 12th seed, as we mentioned, playing Edmonton. Some of the other news in hockey, you got Tuukka Rask. He broke his finger, but he's going to be ready for the Bruins in the qualifiers. He may not play during the round robin, but he'll be ready for the qualifiers. So that's going to be something to keep an eye on as well, as we'll see. Again, it's a nice luxury to have. It says that he's going to play against the Flyers on August 2nd in the round robin during the qualifiers. But, Yaroslav Halak is not exactly too bad of a replacement for him. 18-8-6 with a .239 goals against and 919 save percentage in 31 games. So, that's so we'll have to keep an eye on Tuukka Rask to see if he's going to play in the round robin, what kind of impact that'll have. The Vezina Trophy finalists are, as we mentioned, Connor Hellebuck is one, Tuukka Rask is the other, Vasilevsky for Tampa Bay is the third. From December 17th to February 15th, 19-0-2 is Vasilevsky. And again, Tampa Bay gets one of the round robin team buys, if you will. So they'll be looking to strengthen themselves in those 3 games before we find out who they play in the opening round of the playoffs. So again, as we mentioned, hockey is just around the corner. 10 days, 11 days. And it starts off with Carolina and the Rangers. Noon Eastern time, as I talked to a good friend of mine, Bob Fari. I texted him about that. The Blue Shirts get to start, and he said it's 9 o'clock my time. Perfect way to start breakfast. And he is indeed correct. So I'm excited for him. My Red Wings, of course, we'll have to wait another year to see if we can get off the schneid and possibly get back in the playoff hunt. But it's going to be a different time as, again, the bubble situation for the NBA and the NHL. It seems to be going pretty good so far. The NBA teams now have reported down to Orlando. They're getting started next weekend as well. July 31st, they kick it off. They're going to have some exhibition games next week, and then it's go time. Baseball, hockey, basketball in August. It's been a long wait, and this is our reward as sports fans to be able to watch those games. And as hockey fans, again, 5 to 6 games a day, March Madness style. How can you be upset about that? Man, I can't wait for it. And it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. So, hey, we're going to take a break. We come back. We'll get back talking a little baseball. We'll go over our futures that we were able to come up with, our odds. And, again, we'll go over just some more notes about baseball and anything else that may have come up. We'll talk a little PGA and maybe even a little WWE. We'll see as we get you up to 9 o'clock tonight. And that will be Cody Jansen and Indoor Lacrosse Canadian style live from Fort Saskatchewan. You're watching the Captain Lou Extravaganza live here on 12 Ounce Sports.
For the marching exercise, you want to sit down in the center front of your chair, bring your feet shoulder width apart, and form a 90-degree angle with your knees. From here, you're going to lift one foot and raise the opposite arm just as you march in place in your chair. Make sure you keep that core nice and tight and you breathe into it, and also maintain good posture with a straight back.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Captain Lou Extravaganza live here on 12 Ounce Sports and also on Zingo TV channel 761, which you can download. It's easy to get signed up for. It's free, and you can watch it on your big screen TV. You can see the captain styling and profiling on Zingo channel 761. Hey, a reminder again, everybody, that we've got live sports starting back up. We've been talking about it. Well, it's here. Definitely here. It's going to be here before you know it. Baseball starting up Thursday night with a doubleheader. And leading into that, of course, we will have our MLB preview show, 5:30 until 7 with yours truly, Captain Lou, and Mike Cavallis. We're going to be bringing you all the ins and outs of Major League Baseball. We're going to be joined by our crew here on 12 Ounce Sports, including James Paxson, Mitch Bernstein, Pop DiBiase, Philly Pete, and, of course, Vegas Square's own Aaron from Vegas Squares. He's going to join us. We're going to talk all the divisions, and we're also going to talk fantasy players, who's going to be the top ones to look out for, the breakout stars, if you will, and then we're going to get futures bets towards the end of the show. Who's going to win the World Series? Who's the best bet? Who's the best sleeper? This and that. How to bet. So it's going to be it's going to be a fun show. I'm really looking forward to bringing it to you Thursday, 5:30 until 7 o'clock Eastern time. And this show right now, if you're going to be, you'll be watching it Thursday on Zingo TV. It's right after this. So we're going to be on, a replay will be Thursday afternoon, 4:30 Eastern time here on 12 Ounce Sports and Zingo Channel 761. On another programming note, I will not be on next Tuesday. It's vacation time for the bald guy. I'm going to go a little R&R up on a nice lake up in northern Michigan. We're going to just recharge because we have got a lot coming up. Once we get back, hockey will have started, baseball will have started, basketball will have started, hopefully training camp for football. And we're going to get knee-deep into our football previews, too, as we did last year. And we'll do that, and we've done each year here on the Extravaganza here on 12 Ounce Sports. We're going to pick, each week, we're going to pick a couple of divisions in each conference leading up to football season, hopefully starting Labor Day weekend. So we're going to preview all 8 divisions. We're going to get some guests on. We're going to get some expert opinions, and we're gonna get you on the right path for the NFL season coming up. And also, don't forget, the 3rd annual Captain Lou 6-Pack Challenge is going to be brought back this year again. And again, how that works is I'm going to pick 6 games every week, hopefully 3 college, hopefully 3 pro, and we're going to pick those games against the spread. And how that works is you pick those against me, and if you beat me, you're in the drawing for a $100 Visa gift card that we give away right after, I should say, the national championship game. Well, things are going to be changing, I know, with the scheduling. Who knows what it's going to be like in college football. Let's talk about that here in a second. But I just want to remind everybody about that we've got a lot coming up in August, but we will not be on next Tuesday. And then when we come back, August 4th, we're going to be back to our 2-hour time slot here on the Captain Lou Extravaganza, 8 until 10 p.m. Eastern time. So make sure you put that note. If you're going to be tuning in next week, we will not be on. So we're going to take a little breather and, like I said, just get rested up for a big year of sports. The calendar year's kind of changed a little bit. August is going to be a full court press, and we're really looking forward to it. Hey, a reminder that speaking of those sports, we talked about it, baseball doubleheader Thursday night, hockey starting up August 1st. You still got PGA, NASCAR, you name it. But if you're looking to put down a couple of shackles on that, you think you got the edge and you can make yourself a little bit of coin, hop on over to mybookie.ag. It's that simple. They've got a lot of action for you to get started and to get going. And we invite you to make your first deposit with mybookie.ag. Use the promo code 12Ounce Sports. If you do that, then they're gonna match you 100% bonus up to $1,000 deposit. It's that simple. Why wouldn't you do it? It's that easy. So I mean, that's free money. That's a no-brainer. That is a no-brainer. So you got to do that. So get over to mybookie.ag, and if you're not into, or if you don't want to bet on the games right now, if you're just kind of waiting to feel things out, but you still got that itch, check out the casino portion of mybookie.ag. They've got slots, they've got blackjack, table games, roulette or whatever. Check that out. And again, that's mybookie.ag, and make your first deposit by using the promo code 12Ounce Sports as well, because they will give you a 100% bonus up to $1,000. And so again, why would you not do that? That's free money, easy money. And so that's mybookie.ag. And again, we're on channel 761 Zingo TV. One more reminder too about our online store. We got a lot of great stuff on there, a lot of great swag, t-shirts, sweaters, coffee mugs, you name it. We've got our mask that we want you to keep using. But if you're going to, when you put your mask on, think about this. You would be looking super sweet. People will be thinking, man, that guy must listen to Captain Lou or watching Captain Lou, I should say, or both, because he's wearing that 12-ounce sports mask to get you through this coronavirus pandemic. So we invite you, check out our store. It's at 12ouncesportsradio.com and hit the Our Store tab, and you'll see that right there. That's the surgical mask, if you will, the mask to help us do our part to get rid of this coronavirus so we can get back to some normalcy for football and our sport, all our sports in general, so we can get back to going to games, to watching instead of just on TV. It's great watching sports on television. It really is. I mean, it's a lot more convenient. And I got to say, I don't know if I'm ever going to go to an NFL game again. It's just so hard to get in and out of them. And the rather easy thing of you can watch it on TV. You get to see everything. Plus, there's no long lines in the bathroom, and you could take your own chicken wings, put them in the oven, and grab a pop, and you're not paying $50 for a pop, a burger, and wings or whatever. But I have to say that I've watched some of the baseball games, the exhibition games, and it just, boy, I once they get playing regular season, maybe it'll be different. But boy, I tell you, baseball just doesn't seem the same with empty stands. It just seems different. But I know we'll adjust to it. So, real quick on baseball, we got about 10 minutes left of the show. Again, with our show coming up Wednesday night, don't want to talk a whole lot about what we got going on, but we talked about the favorites and we looked at some of the futures and whatnot. I'm interested to see the odds to win the National League and American League, and I don't know, the one that kind of stands out to me a little bit. Now, their odds have gone down, but some of the bookmakers have had the Oakland Athletics as one of the top teams in the American League. Now, you read some of the pundits like Buster Olney and what they've got Oakland as like the 8th best team in baseball. Seems like they're always there. They've got the lowest payrolls, but they're always there. Now, they haven't won a playoff series since 2006, and that was the year Detroit swept them to go to the World Series. But watch out for Oakland. My team still is going to be the Cincinnati Reds. They're 15-1 odds to win the pennant, last I checked, and they're 25-1 odds to win the World Series. I just like what they've done, and I've liked the additions, including Trevor Bauer, and they've got a great bullpen, and they've got some sticks on that team. Watch out for Cincinnati. They're going to be my dark horse. One of my dark horses. We'll talk about it on the show Thursday night. Everybody's in love with Minnesota. Tampa Bay's got a great pitching staff as well. They're like the 4th best team odds-wise, tied for 3rd actually, to win the pennant in the American League with Minnesota. Can Minnesota do it this year? Can they win the pennant? It's been a long time for the Twins. 91, I believe it was, when they beat the Atlanta Braves in that epic Game 7. Jack Morris against John Smoltz, a pitching matchup in a World Series Game 7 that is going to be tough to match for a long time. But Minnesota's 8-1 odds to win the pennant, and they're 16-1 odds to win the World Series. But you got the top two, and it's hard to argue with the Dodgers and the Yankees. We talked about this in the first half hour. We won't rehash it too much, but the Dodgers and the Yankees are the top 2 teams odds-wise to make it. Then you got the Atlanta Braves, which are right now the 2nd best team in the National League, according to the bookmakers. I'm kind of surprised by that one. I really am. I don't know. I like what they've done, but something just doesn't seem right with the Braves. I don't know if it's their bullpen. I know they've had some injuries. Is Freddie Freeman going to be strong enough to play? Man, you talk about having a battle with coronavirus. I mean, it was legit. So you know it's out there. And so is he going to be healthy enough to play? That's a huge question mark. We'll have to bring that up with Mitch Bernstein, who's going to preview the divisions. But we talked about it again. That National League East is sneaky good. Now, the National League West, the Dodgers, I think it's theirs for the taking. San Diego's up and coming, but they're a ways away. Who else do you got? Colorado? No. Arizona Diamondbacks, they don't put any fear into India. So I think the Giants they're a mess. So that's the Dodgers, man. They'd have to fall flat on their face to lose that division. So I can see the Dodgers, and the Yankees are going to get a push from Tampa. I will say that. And if the Yankees got an Achilles heel again, I believe it's their starting pitching. Yeah, they got Garrett Cole. I get that. He's going to be their ace. But the rest of the guys can't stay healthy. Are they going to be dependable? Is Chapman going to be healthy in the bullpen? Offensively, let's face it, this is going to be the latest incarnation of the Bronx Bombers. But we'll have to wait and see. But don't forget, preview show coming up, 5:30 Eastern Time Thursday here on the 12-Ounce Sports Network and also Zingo Channel 761. Hey, we got a few minutes left before we break away and take you to indoor lacrosse here on 12-Ounce Sports. I was reading about something today a little bit, a couple hours before we came on, and it kind of caught my eye was the college football season is starting back up. Obviously, the big weekend is always Labor Day weekend. You've got the Chick-fil-A kickoff games down in Atlanta, and you've got games for week 1 and 2 in Atlanta. You've got Florida State, West Virginia, Georgia, Virginia, Auburn, North Carolina, just to name a few. Some of the games that were changed, I believe, what was it, USC, Alabama, I believe. But I was reading this article, and if they don't play those games because of COVID, because, if the other 3 Power 5 conferences decide that they're not going to play conference games or non-conference games, Peach Bowl CEO Gary Stokan was saying it could be an economic impact of upwards of $100 million. Now, we're waiting on the other Power 5 conferences to make their decision. And it sounds like it's going to be next week for the ACC, the Big 12, and SEC. If they're going to go to some type of a schedule where they might get one non-conference game in. Notre Dame, they're the ones that kind of bit by this, but it sounds like the ACC will be able to bail them out. They'll be getting some other games. Of course, the Big 10 and the Pac-12, they've decided that they're only going to play conference games. Boy, California has really been hit by this. Their high school football season is not going to start until probably January at the earliest, right after Christmas. Georgia's been postponed a few weeks. Virginia's hasn't. They're going to possibly do it in the spring. Here in Michigan, so far, they came out last Friday, and said everything's a go, but there's a contingency to that where it could be pushed to March, or they could start it and finish it in March. They're not going to flip-flop seasons like the original story was, where they would have the the most easily socially distanced sports go, like baseball, softball, track. They're not going to do that. If Michigan were to postpone it, basketball might start a little bit early. Then you would see football start in March, go to May 1st or whatever, and then baseball start up later and go through the end of July. So there's still a lot of variables, but boy, it's getting to be crunch time. And you wonder how much longer can these Power 5 conferences wait to make a decision what they're going to do. I don't have an issue with the Big 10 and Pac-12 going to conference games only. These are trying times. Now, it's all going to come down to dollars and cents, and there's no governing body, no czar, if you will, for NCAA football. So if the Big 12 and the SEC and the ACC say, you know what, the heck with you guys, we're still doing it, we're going, they can't be stopped. But, you got schools like Florida and Florida State and Georgia Tech and Georgia where it's on the uptick big time. The Houston school or the Texas schools, I'm still waiting to see if they're really going to play in California, even though they said they're going to have conference games only. Are the dollars going to trump everything else? No pun intended. And rule in the long run. Because you got some of these schools like Michigan State, they're not totally online, but they're close. Western Michigan, they got their opening game canceled again because Stony Brook, their conference canceled football. I mean, it's changing by the day. And by the time you and I talk in 2 weeks, I'm sure we'll have a better idea. We're going to go through it in depth. So it's going to be it's crazy. Well, that's going to about do it here tonight for our show. Again, we want to thank everybody for joining us. Cody Jansen's coming up here. He's warming up in the bullpen. He'll be on in a couple of minutes with indoor lacrosse. This is week number 3 of the 12-ounce Sports Cup. They play for all the marbles next week, but they've got some exciting games tonight. We invite you to stick around here for that as well. Don't forget, we'll be on in 2 weeks here. We're going to take next week off. The extravaganza is going to take a breather so we can come even bigger and more extravagant for you in 2 weeks. One more reminder, we'll be on coming up Thursday night, 5:30 though, for our 12-ounce Sports Major League Baseball preview. Big Mike and I will be your host and co-host. I'll be bringing you that along with Mike. He'll be co-hosting and producing. So we got a full lineup of guests. Check out my Twitter page at Real Captain Lou and my Facebook page, which is the Captain Lou Extravaganza. Follow both, and I'll have the list of the guests and the times that we will have them on Thursday night, 5:30 to 7. Hey, this reminder, everybody, keep your heads up, keep your sticks down, keep your feet moving, and as always, keep your minds open. We'll see you Thursday night for the MLB preview. Cody Jansen is next for Canadian indoor lacrosse from Fort Saskatchewan. That's it. Thanks for joining us. It's the Captain Lou Extravaganza Live